Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the area of a trapezoid, and I'm going to go through two examples. So to find the area of a trapezoid, we use this equation. B1 plus B2 divided by 2 times h, where B1 and B2 are the two bases in any order, and h is the height. Because essentially what a trapezoid is it has two parallel sides called bases and a height. So by finding the average of those two bases by adding them together and dividing by 2, we can get the average base and then multiply that by the height, just as we would a rectangle. Except with a rectangle, there's just one base and one height. Whereas with the trapezoid, there's two bases, so finding the average before we multiply by height is key. So let's start with this example here. Area is equal to base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2 times the height. So in this situation, what are base 1 and base 2? Those would refer to the parallel sides, and we know that these two sides are parallel because of these little arrows here. These little arrow symbols say that these lines are parallel. So therefore, I'm going to plug in 6 and 10 as base 1 and base 2. Then what is the height? So the height is always the distance that is perpendicular to the base. And so in this situation here, we know that this 5 centimeters is the height because of this little symbol right here that means 90 degrees. And therefore also means perpendicular. So I'm going to multiply this by 5. Next, we can just use our order of operations to figure this out. We need to figure out what's in the brackets first, and then multiply the result by 5, because recall that we should always figure out what's in the parentheses before we do anything else, like exponents, multiplication, or any addition and subtraction that is outside of the brackets. So in the brackets is 6 plus 10 divided by 2. Now 6 plus 10 is 16, and 16 divided by 2 is 8. So it's going to be 8 times 5. And 8 times 5 is 40. So therefore, the final answer for the area of the trapezoid is 40 square centimeters. All right, and let's move on to the second example right here. So first of all, what is our equation? Area is base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2 times h. So base 1 is 10 and base 2 is 15. And how do we know that these are the bases? Well, because these are the parallel lines, right? These are the two lines that have the arrows on them. So that's how we know they must be base 1 and base 2. Then the height is going to be perpendicular to the bases. Or even in this case, it usually just shows it's perpendicular to one base. But if it's perpendicular to one base, it has to be to the other because the bases are parallel. So even just seeing that one of these angles is a 90-degree angle is good enough. So therefore, we're going to multiply that by 3. Now let's find out what's in the bracket. So 10 plus 15 is 25. So in the brackets, we have 25 divided by 2. Now 25 over 2 actually can't be reduced any further. So I'm just going to multiply at this point. 25 over 2 times 3. Well, we multiply the numerators, so we multiply 25 by 3 and get 75. So 75 over 2 square inches is the final answer. As always, if you do have any questions, feel free to leave those down in the comment section, and we'll see you for the next one.